All right, guys. Really strong close to the week on Friday. Taking a look at the indexes real quick. Nice day for the NASDAQ. A little bit less of an up day for, Spider, but still really strong day. Nice gap, held the gap. Taking a closer look at the NASDAQ. We're finally over that 21 day. Been trapped under there for a little while now. Closed right underneath the 50-day. So really interesting to see, how we can handle that next week. Definitely going to be paying close attention to that. Looking at the S&P, similar situation here, finding closed over that 21 day. That feels like really notable right now. Closing right underneath the 50-day. So definitely keeping a close eye on that next week. Just looking at some other metrics that I'm tracking. Net new highs versus net new lows. Finally, felt like a very, very significant net positive day here. 32 new highs on my list. Only 7 new lows. 25 is a very significantly positive number for me. 74% of the names that I'm watching finished green on the day, so pretty significant participation there. And see here, closed 1.24% above the 21 day. And we've been negative on that number for almost a month now, so that's great to see. Just taking a look at some of the names that had the biggest day. Like I said, a lot of great participation here. We had a bunch of different sectors. Melly's a name that I haven't seen on my list in a long time. See you here closing at highs. This feels like a really good barometer for risk on versus risk off right now. Closing at new highs feels notable to me. ASPN having some continuation from Thursday's really big gap up and go was great to see. TDW been on a great run the last few months, but really clean breakout, closing at new highs. TWST, really solid up day, closing just below new highs, really good volume. So felt like there was a lot of good stuff going on here. And just looking at my new highs list here, again, saw some themes continue to stand out, just sorting this by the sector. Definitely a lot of financials and healthcare. But we are getting some participation from other sectors as well. 3 names from tech, which is great to see. ITRI having some great continuation. Garmin holding that breakout. And the trade desk also looks like it's flirting with all-time highs here. So that's great to see. Some energy names on here. Vital Farms. This is a name that's been pretty much unstoppable the last few months. Pinterest, a name that we haven't seen in a long time. So some pretty solid participation here. I like what I'm seeing there. And then just looking at some individual names here. Trams and Medics, this was a great volume, a lot of eyeballs on it on Twitter here, but some great continuation on Thursday and Friday. So that's great to see. Keeping a close eye on Abercrombie here, actually. I mean, we've definitely been putting in a series of lower highs. Some significant damage on down days, acting a little bit erratic, but I'm really curious to see if we can break this trend of lower highs here. So keeping an eye on this as well. I feel like this is also a good barometer for risk right now. If people are willing to buy this up, I feel like that's notable. Goldman Sachs, this is a name that I wanted to highlight as well. Holding this breakout from those March highs, but also closing at all-time highs here feels very, very significant if we can get this to load. Just looking at the monthly chart, this is a huge name. Closing at all-time highs looks really strong here. Feel like this is very notable. Obviously, we know financials have been super strong in the last couple of weeks, leading sector, but this feels like a great sign. So like what I'm seeing there. Interesting observation here between Coinbase and Robinhood. Feels like these two names for me have been moving in lockstep over the last few weeks. Seen a little bit of a divergence here. Coin down on the day, Hood up on the day. We know both of these can really, really move. They both pretty much doubled, almost tripled in the last few months. But it looks like Hood might be a little bit stronger right now. So keep an eye on this. Always trying to be in the strongest stocks and the strongest groups. So we'll see what happens here. But interesting divergence there. Taking a look at some of the big boys, Meta. Looks like sellers aren't really able to keep this down for now. Would be a great sign, in my opinion, if we can get this bought back up and fill the gap. Looks like it might want to. Obviously, keeping a close eye on that. NVDA looks like it potentially might want to stop breaking this trend of lower highs. We'll see what happens next week, but this would be great. SMCI, I mean, putting in a bunch of lower highs in the last 2 months. See if we can break that trend this week. So keeping a close eye there, but feels like we might be turning the corner a little bit here. Obviously, anything can happen. Coupang acting really nicely, holding this gap up. Looks like it might want new highs. Pinterest is a name, again, super hot. A couple years back, obviously COVID name, but huge gap up. Looks like it's been able to hold, has been able to hold. Looks like it might want to. That'd be a great sign. And then looking at Wingstop, I mean, this is closing at all-time highs here. Feels super significant. This was a name that had a ton of eyeballs on it during COVID as well. But let's take a look at the monthly. Obviously we had the great run 2022, 2023, but I mean, it's had amazing last few months here, but continuing to close at all-time highs. Nice hammer candle there on the monthly, so looks super strong. And then just looking at some technology and software names, looks like AppLovin might be ready to take a run. This was the strongest stock that I had in my software names for a while, so like to see this doing well. Alchemy holding these gains from Thursday on Friday feels really significant, and then Zeta strong as well. So, I mean, overall, really like what I saw on Friday. Really strong close. Keeping a really, really open mind next week, but optimistic here. Looks like we might have turned a corner. A lot of names moving really well. Seeing some continuation on breakouts and some risk on, risk off barometers. Also, for me, tending towards risk on right now. So like what we're seeing, anything can happen next week. But let's see what happens on Monday.